I'm going to take two calls like back to back here because this gives you a good perspective of two very different views. We're going to start with Jack, and then I'm going to go to Josephine. But let's start with Jack calling from Illinois on line 6. Jack, go ahead.
Thank you, Jay, for taking my call. First of all, I'd like to concur with you that he's starting the campaign much too early. At the end of 2 years, people are going to be so sick of Donald Trump and his braggadocious demeanor that he's not going to win the nomination. He is not. He must come across as a team player. This is something that I don't know if he's capable of doing. I mean, you look at his track record, the people that he's fired and hired and fired and hired, the chaos that he created while he was in office. And I am a Donald Trump supporter, by the way. But he needs to enlist other supporters to do his campaigning for him and to extol the virtues and the great things that he did. Not himself. Seems like he always has to be the center of attention.
Okay, Jack, I appreciate those points. I'm going to go right to Josephine. This is a kind of different way of doing the radio broadcast because Josephine has a different view. Josephine from Wisconsin, line 5. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yep.
Well, my point is I'm in my 80s, and I was a kid in Europe in World War II. And I saw what was happening then. And I tell you, if I want a guard at the door, if it's my front door or if it's America, I would want to have somebody like Trump and I don't know, anyone else that would be as durable and as steady, and he has proven what he can do for us. And if anybody wants to attack his character, I don't like his character either. However, we all qualify for that. You can take me down, and I'm a wonderful person. But I think they shouldn't look at the things the way he is, but what he can do and what he did for us.
All right, so this is very interesting because I don't know if we have this bite, and if not, maybe we can get it. And it talked about the situation in Ukraine. Because I think it's fair to say, that was fair to say, I appreciate that comment, Josephine. Both of you were great. I don't think we would be looking at Harry right now from a policy perspective, but also from a military perspective. I don't think we would be looking at a situation in Ukraine that we're now facing. I mean, they de-escalated the situation with Poland yesterday, whether it was a Ukrainian defense missile that went awry or whether everybody decided that's what we're going to say so we don't have World War III here. I get that too. But it's very interesting kind of disposition of the two callers and then Josephine coming out of Europe during World War II in their 80s. So it's very interesting to me that perspective, the guardian at the door.
Yes, I think it is. And I think it's unmistakable that Donald Trump was better in terms of strategically positioning the United States in terms of geopolitical affairs than virtually any president we've had in the last 20 years. In other words, he was restrained, but he was willing to respond. However, I still think in terms of domestic politics, people that do not necessarily have Josephine's perspective, they are going to focus on personality. And the American people, for whatever reason, often focus on an individual's personality. Yep. And I think at the end of the day, that could be a huge negative unless, for instance, we're facing a heightened prospect of World War III. And I think most Americans would prefer Trump to many of the other candidates.
I think we were very close to a major crisis yesterday. I mean, this could have escalated very, very quickly. And unfortunately, it looks like it's not going to because it implicated Article 5 of the NATO agreement, which is an attack on one is an attack on all. I mean, it was Poland. We were afraid of this was going to happen. Russia said it wasn't them. Then now there's reports that may have been a Ukrainian missile that kind of went awry from their self-defense system. Whatever. It's been de-escalated. But it's an interesting perspective. But I think that this is not so much just a Donald Trump thing either. This is also a very different vision between conservative engagement in foreign policy and a more progressive engagement in foreign policy. It's two different worlds.
Yeah, and I think another thing that we're maybe discounting is the young voters.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that the foreign policy resonates really too much with them at all. The things that they're interested in, the things that they're concerned about might not be the economy. And it should be because they're putting gas in their car too. But a lot of times they're like, well, they're going to forgive my, debt to college.
Right.
And those are the things that I think whoever's running this time needs to focus on a message that resonates with young voters as well.